Number 2. Man, feels good to do 2 in a row, back 1 week apart. And even more crazy is how hard it feels like, what an accomplishment it feels like to do so. So it just makes me think, if you're trying to do anything consistently, like trying to learn a language, trying to eat healthy, trying to exercise or something, all the power to you. I know it's crazy difficult. I came across a quote in the workout I'm doing right now, and it's saying, when you're about to quit, remember why you started, which is so cheesy, but so true. If you could just think with me, imagine if we could package the motivation we had the night before and actually carry that to the 8 hours later when we wake up. Man, it would be so easy. Anyways, that's just a little ramble. Welcome to Robert Rawlins Rambles, and we're going through the Sustainable Development Goals put forward by the UN and its member states, including Canada, about creating a better world by 2030. We've looked at ending poverty, we've looked at ending hunger, we've looked at ensuring healthy lives. Now we're looking at education, and specifically ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. Big one again, which is measured by a number of targets. By 2030, because that's the time frame of the SDGs, ensure all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education. And not only complete it, but make sure that that educational experience leads to basic requirements of reading and mathematics. Also, eliminate by 2030 the gender disparities within the educational institutions around the world. The target that I want to focus on, though, that I'll be going into a bit more in detail later, is by 2030, ensure all learners acquire knowledge and skills to promote sustainable development. Sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promote a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity. Holy cow, that is a fantastic target. What are the broad issues? Globally, 263 million youth are not in school. 263 million youth. That is so many kids that don't have the opportunity to get what in my head is such a basic right. Like, it's even more than a right. It just happens. You're just educated. And yet 263 million youth do not. Unfortunately, this is an issue more in the developing world. 70% of these 263 million youth are in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. And even of the people who get to go to school, not all of them actually meet literacy and numeracy expectations, not even in Canada. So that's in the developing world. How about in our world? How about in the entire world? Any trends? Well, the richest 20% in every country perform significantly better than the poorest 20% in their respective countries, which is so cool that, or not cool, but it's just speaks to the magnitude of that, the issue of disparity, the issue of me versus you, which we'll get into later. So does that come to light in Canada's story? Well, it does, between non-Aboriginals and Aboriginals. So while almost 2/3 of non-Aboriginals have post-secondary qualification, not even half of Aboriginals aged 25 to 64, the same age, have qualifications. Also, of those qualifications, while more than a quarter in the non-Aboriginals are university degrees, not even a tenth are university degrees within the Aboriginal population. So that speaks to the quality difference in their educational attainment. But let's get to the one that I want to focus on. What about teaching sustainable development, that target? Again, sustainable lifestyles, gender equality, human rights, non-violence, and cultural diversity appreciation. What does it all come down to? We've been talking about this. Sustainability comes down to putting others first, doesn't it? Again, the definition of sustainability is the proper functioning of society, not only now, but for future generations. Not only for us, but for others, which reminds me of a Bible verse we've been talking about, thinking not only to our own interests, but to the interests of others. So again, sustainability is kind of this life for others. So this idea, this kind of mini theme that's been going on through our videos, if sustainability is really the answer to the world's issues, which the UN and all the member states have said, sustainable development is the key, and sustainability relies on us giving up some of ourselves, giving up some of our interests, our lifestyle, resources, time, etc., for the sake of others, because not only now, but for future, or not only for now here, but for there. Well, then getting back to the target, how well are we teaching our youth and each other that the purpose of life is actually an others-focused purpose? How well are we teaching ourselves and each other and our youth that life is about others? Which kind of comes to light when we ask ourselves the question, what is the best education for my child? If you are a parent, or if you can imagine being a parent. Well, I bet you the one that comes to mind is, well, the education that sets them apart to succeed, right? So sets them up to best succeed. The one that allows them to be comfortable. And what does comfortable require? Well, successful at beating out the ever-increasing competition, because population growth, immigration, so many people willing to do so much to attain that level. I need to set my child up to succeed the best. But where is the interests of others, which again, sustainable, where is the interests of others attitude in that type of education? The education that teaches my child to look around and see that this world of competition isn't working for everyone. It's working very well for a select group, but it's not working for everyone at all. We actually need to change it completely. I was so challenged by a sermon that me and my mom listened to just a few days ago. The pastor posed this question: as a parent, are you more concerned about ensuring your child's academic and/or athletic success, or making sure they know and live out the sacrificial love Christ has for them? What are you more concerned about for them? And if you're not a Christian, or even if you are a Christian, let's remember what that sacrificial love looks like. The love that puts others first. The love that gets on its hands and feet and washes the feet of others, literally washes their feet. And at the end of the day, ultimately, lays down its life for other people. How well are we doing in that educational outcome statistic? What would the statistics be of that educational outcome? It's so funny, that idea of self-sacrifice. Me and my friends, we always say, like, whoa, wow, World War I, World War II, how did people have that mindset of self-sacrifice? Like, we literally can't even relate mentally. I cannot even relate. At the same time, we know the statistics show people who have more than ever in history are giving less and less to charity. And like we talked about last week, we're feeling trapped in the same way, but we're moving more and more towards searching for isolated escapism, individual escapism, rather than this community-focused, community-centric change of the world around us. Aren't these perhaps an indication of what we're teaching ourselves, what we're teaching our youth about how to view the world? Perhaps maybe in a pretty self-centric way and not an others-focused way. So yeah, coming back to, I guess, formal education, I'm not saying it's a waste at all. I'm not saying we should throw it out at all. It's the opposite. I'm saying it's such a gift to each and every one of us who gets traditional education. Along with our resources and even our lives, they are such gifts to us. It's so not about us that we need to do nothing but share them with other people. That should be our mentality. We're being educated so that we can do things for other people. It's incredible. They have that mentality in Ghana. Everyone you speak to there is for Ghana, not for themselves. Every university graduate, it's so important, I think, for us Canadians to think about. Every person who graduates from an undergrad in Ghana has to give 1 year to the country of Ghana. It's not military, it's anything. It can be military, but it's a lot of sciences, even social work. But you have to give a year of your life back to the country because you know it's such a gift that you are educated. Wow, what an others-focused way, what a sustainable way of life, of doing life, of education. So again, I ask the question, how well are we teaching ourselves, each other, and our children about true, inevitably self-sacrificial and self-sacrificing sustainability? Because I think that's the main target we need to look at. Just a quote from the devotional Victoria and I do, and my mother brought our family up on this devotion, this is just a fantastic line. Like, it's so cool that it speaks to this. Then learn to lavish the grace of God on others, generously giving of yourself. Be marked and identified with God's nature. Remember that self-sacrificial life, that self-sacrificial love. Be identified with God's nature, and his blessing will flow through you all the time. So cool that it paints this picture of, oh, well, obviously that's our end goal. Obviously, blessing in the lives of others, that's our end goal. It's so funny. It's like almost like, oh yeah, I think, oh wait a sec, oh wait, where's the blessing for? Oh no, it's for other people. This is the ultimate goal, is others focused. So cool. How then shall we live? Well, I'm going to come back to it again. Number one, to whom much is given, much is expected. If you've been given an education, use it for other people. Figure out how you can, which ties into the second one, educate yourself about global and local issues. So figure out what's going on in the world, what is going on in my little world, and how can I use my education, my experiences, what I've been taught about to help that situation, to make change in that situation. Number three, if you're in education right now, why am I pursuing this education? Is it to better establish myself in this unstable world? Or is it so that I can better understand and empathize with other people and better show that love and serve others? And number four, the biggest one, parents. It's directed at you. What stresses and expectations are you putting on your children and their education? Okay, what are you teaching them through your actions and your words? What are you teaching them about what life is all about? What are you telling them through the way you speak to them, through the way you act in your own life and in relation to them? Are you pressuring them to do what it takes to beat out the competition and to take their justified reward, or to do what makes them happy, them focused? Or are you challenging them, encouraging them, spurring them on to better understand that they are loved to the ends of time, and that they are called to live displaying that and sharing that love with others? Which one? Which pressure? What encouragement are you teaching? Are you etching into the mind of the next generation? It seems wishy-washy, and maybe it is, but it's funny that each sustainable development goal so far, and you'll see each of them, has this focus on an equitable world. Well, if an equitable world is dependent, and therefore sustainability is dependent on looking to others-focused living. Anyways, thanks so much. Bam, 12:37, shortest one yet. Nailed it. No, but seriously, can't wait to keep going through these. It's clearly the theme, others-focused living. It's, yeah. Anyways, have a great week.